These are the Wandering Therapist sessions. I am Tyler Patrick, your wandering therapist, and I'm here to provide you with hope, healing, and helpful insights in your journey for a wholehearted life. What's going on, you guys? Tyler, your wandering therapist here. So glad you're joining me today. I'm actually joining you from the very tops of the mountains in Fish Lake National Forest down in central Utah, and I got to show you guys just how beautiful it is. I got these mountains pretty much all to myself. Got up early, came and watched the sunrise. You guys can see pretty much all the way around, 360 views. You can see the shadows coming off the mountains behind me. Just a beautiful day. And I just wanted to stop and pause and share a couple of thoughts with you guys today on a really important topic that is really difficult to manage. And it's on the topic of forgiveness. And it doesn't take much if I were to ask any one of you, including myself, to pause and think about somebody who's hurt us. There's pretty quick, most of us have something in our mind where we still have a hard time letting go of things. Someone may have said something to us in the past, maybe it's long gone. Somebody may have done something to us that wasn't fair. And those feelings that we hold on to are natural responses that try to protect us. And the struggle is that if we don't figure out how to help those feelings move, then we become prisoners in a cell that we create ourselves by holding on to those feelings and thoughts of resentment and hatred and frustration. And it's like one of the hardest things in the world to do, and it's not necessarily a one-time easy linear thing. It's more of a process of noticing those thoughts and acknowledging really what they're doing to our own life, acknowledging what they're doing for us and what they're not doing for us, and then continually practicing the art of letting go. I remember many years ago, one of the places where I've had the biggest struggle with forgiveness in my own life is when I was in grad school, getting my master's degree, and I was kind of a victim of some bias and some discrimination because I was a white Mormon male. And one of my faculty members didn't like that about me very much. And I remember getting a C- in my ethics class. And I did all my work. I should have had an A in the class. Came down to the very end of the semester, and she called me into her office and said, "Hey, we've got to counsel you out of the program here, because if you get a C- in my program, they can counsel you out of the program. You got a C- in my class, and unless you want to do all the work, like in the next week to make it all up, we're going to probably have to let you go from our program." And I had all my work out in the car, so I went and turned in my work and gave it back in. But I remember after that feeling so much bitterness and anger and resentment. It carried on the rest of my program. It carried on after my program. It carried into my workspace where I was complaining about it to everybody. I was frustrated, and everything was able to come to a resolution, and yet I held on to those feelings. And even to this day, once in a while, if I really think about it, those still old feelings of anger and hatred want to start to well up inside. And for many years, I have had the person who hurt me have power to continue to hurt me, even though I haven't seen her in probably close to 15 or 16 years. And I wonder what's going on in your own lives right now that might be keeping you bound. And how long are you going to hold on to it? And how many hours and moments of your precious life are you going to let that be taken from you? And you're going to increase your suffering as a result of not being able to let go. So here's a couple things that I use for myself. I hope they're helpful for you. I use a couple of tricks. One of the first tricks that I use for myself is that I try to remember that I believe that I live in a world where I'm not perfect, and there are plenty of people in my own life, whether they're the same things that have happened or not, that I need forgiveness from. I hate the fact of knowing that I've hurt people in ways that I sometimes can't repair. And if I remind myself of that, it becomes a little easier to not be jury and judge on the next person who maybe I'm having hard feelings towards. I also try to remember that the only person who is now hurting as a result of me holding on to my resentment is me. And that I have 100% control and power over whether or not I'm going to continue to suffer, or if I'm going to learn to let go, soften my heart, and try to move on. So those are the first two things. One more that I really try to work towards, and this is maybe the hardest one in the world, is that when you've been hurt by somebody and it hasn't been fair, and there should be justice served, and there's probably not going to be justice served, at least in our lifetime, trying to find and work your way to a place where you can actually experience gratitude and generosity and compassion, not only for yourself, but for the very person who may have hurt you. And this is really, really difficult, but if I can get into my own space and go, you know what? My faculty member is obviously coming from a place of woundedness. I don't believe that any person necessarily hurts another person unless it's out of a place of woundedness. And so it doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it right. However, it's a factor in the situation, and she wasn't handling her own woundedness properly. And so I can at least access my heart of compassion for her and say, I don't even know what happened for her, but I know that something happened in her life that caused her a ton of pain. And I don't like the pain I feel. I would never want another human being to feel the pain that I felt. And so I would never want her to feel that pain either. And so I can extend a heart of loving kindness and compassion to her. I'm not probably going to go be her best friend. I'm probably not even going to talk to her much. Yet I can have a heart at peace on the inside as a result of realizing my own humanness and their own humanness, and maybe allowing a little bit of grace to realize that I'm not the one who gets to be the judge, that there is somebody or something bigger than me that gets to hold that space, and I can turn that over continually. So something to think about, you guys, in your own lives. Do you have somebody in your life that needs forgiveness, not for them, but for you? That you may not even need to reach out to, but you still get a chance to practice letting go on. And I challenge you to take a little exercise here. Pause for 5 minutes of your day. Start by taking a few deep breaths. Sit down and relax. Establish a regular pattern of deep breathing all the way down into your belly. And call into your mind somebody in your life that means so much to you, that you love so much. And bring into your mind the image of their face in great detail with a smile, smiling directly at you, and allow yourself to feel the sense of love, the sense of warmth, the sense of peace that you feel with that relationship. Experience a moment of gratitude that you have that person in your life that is so good to you. Just sit with that feeling for a minute. And then taking a deep breath, shift the image of that person into the image of the person who has hurt you. And see if you can just allow a brief moment of that same warm feeling of love for them. And if that moment goes away, recall the image of your loved one. Experience that feeling of warmth and love and gratitude. And then bring back the image of that person who has hurt you. And practice just extending an arm of mercy, an arm of gratitude, and an arm of compassion back and forth between those two places. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys today. Please comment if these things are helpful for you. The way that we get to other people to help them as well is through your likes and subscribes and ratings. So please reach out and do that if you're getting any value here. You guys have a good day. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you found this to be valuable for you, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're facing particular struggles that you need help with or roadblocks that you're running into, please submit a question. I'd be happy to answer it for you.